Hi guys, welcome to another episode. As you know, this is the final episode for this season. I can't believe we made it. I can't believe I managed to do this every single week and be consistent, which I'm so proud of myself for. But I'm just exhausted, guys. Not gonna lie to you, I'm exhausted. I feel like the last couple of weeks have just been like go, 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 go. And it's been a struggle to kind of take time for myself. So I'm glad that we managed to do all 12. But I think going forward I need to also reassess the how I'm going to do it. There's still going to be 12 episode seasons, but I just need to work out how I'm going to schedule those seasons so that I can take breaks in between the seasons without not without not posting on this channel as well. So that I'm still posting things, but it's scheduled and everything's automated so that it makes it easier, so that I can also take breaks in between, because I feel like the last couple of weeks have stretched me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like I've tried to get it so perfectly put together that I've kind of forgotten to like break in between because there's been so many things going on. But I'm happy. I'm very happy that I've managed to get to this point, and it's taught me a lot about like how I'm showing up, how I'm doing things, how I'd like to be doing things. But it has definitely been a stretch in that sense. So reviewing now, I'm just like, okay, I'm going to take some time to review for a week and then take time out, take 2 weeks out to kind of just not do anything, which would be lovely because I definitely need a break from everything. I need to just switch off and kind of just relax back into life a little bit. But yes, it's been a crazy period for me. Easter's coming up, so by the time you guys see this, it's after the Easter break. But I'm filming this before the Easter break, so it's kind of like I'm glad to be entering spring, like on a new level, a new sense of refreshness. So I'm going to take the 2 weeks off after this to kind of just get back to what I need to do in order to feel connected with myself, feel connected to what I need to be doing again. So the next video will be in 3 weeks' time. I've still not decided what that's going to look like, but stay tuned. But in this video, I wanted to just touch base with everyone and see how people are doing, how people are looking after themselves, because I clearly have not been looking after myself. That's why I'm exhausted. And on reflection, I know why. And I've been just reflecting on how I like kind of messed up my self-care routine whilst doing everything. And I just pointed out three things that I noticed that I was not doing, or I had a belief about that kind of structured the way I thought about self-care. So to me, as a recovering people pleaser and perfectionist, I think I have got to a place where I find it hard to be self-compassionate. And I think self-care and self-compassionate are like two of the same thing. Self-compassion is being compassionate about yourself and how you're dealing with things. And I think self-care cannot be done without you having a sense of self-compassion. And I've been very compassionate to others, and it's very easy for me to be self-compassionate to others as a people pleaser, but being compassionate to myself, I use my perfectionism to kind of criticize that part of me. So I'm still learning how to like untangle that fight of, well, it's not perfect, so you need to do it again. Instead of, well, you've tried this, now be kind to yourself and like enjoy what you've done and be proud of what you've done. So even this season, producing this season, I felt like there were some days where the editing was off because I just had to do it in the sense of it needed to be done for a certain deadline. So it didn't feel like I had put enough time into it. There was, I wasn't feeling well, but I still had to schedule interviews, and there's some videos you can see me coughing in the videos, but you never hear the cough because I've edited it out. But I felt like those things needed to be done, so I kind of just kept on going with the flow rather than allowing myself to be compassionate and cancel or reschedule something, so that I could give myself some time to recover before doing that and being compassionate towards myself. So I think that's one thing I am going to like change in the next season and just adjust to, allow myself to gain what it needs, like allow myself body to gain what it needs. If it needs rest, it's going to be rest. If it needs a break from something, or if it needs for me to just accept that something isn't going to be like perfect, just accept it. I'm getting to that stage where I am learning it. As I've said all the time, I am my first client, and I'm never going to not work on myself as well. Even though I help clients work through their things, I am also working through my things. So that is one thing that I'm going to be working on, not as a work of it needs to be done, but more of a work of, yeah, what do you need? Being more intentional with what I need, and understanding myself what I need. And that comes in all sorts of forms. So that's going to be a journey in itself, but I'm looking forward to that journey, looking forward to exploring myself, exploring where I am, how I'm going to get there, the supports that I'm going to need to get there. So yeah, the first thing that I could say for someone who is struggling with self-care, because if you're watching this video, you probably are struggling with self-care in some sort of form. The first thing I'm going to say is just allow yourself to be compassionate towards yourself. And the best way I do this is trying to imagine my younger self, or like even my niece. Like when I'm looking at my niece, I'll be like, if that was my niece doing this, would I allow her to like continue doing this just even though I can see she's tired? No, I wouldn't. So I would be compassionate towards her, and that little child is still within me as well. I have a younger version of myself still trapped in my being that also needs taking care of. So if I'm protective of others, I need to be protective of myself as well. So that's one way. Another way is not to see self-care as a reward. I think it's very easy for you to reward yourself. If you've kind of been growing up as a perfectionism, you're always giving in order to receive that validation, and that's the reward. The validation is the reward. And I think because it's hard for me to do self-care sometimes, I try to do everything else to kind of allow myself to be like, okay, now I deserve to look after myself, because I've looked after everyone else, now I deserve to look after myself. But you can't pour from an empty cup. And I think for a long time, I felt, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. And then you get burnt out because you're doing things that are not filling your cup in order for you to give out. And I love the analogy that Lisa Nicole gives of, you need to keep on pouring into your cup, and whatever's left, what's in the cup is yours, but what is overflowing outside of that cup is for other people, and that's where you can give your most to. And I really do believe that the best way to fill your cup is to find connection. It could be connection with yourself, connection with family and friends. It could be connection with a book that you are reading, or something new, or nature. Is connecting to things outside of yourself, not doing it for other people, but doing it for yourself. So in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be going to the spa. I'm going to be doing a pottery class with some friends, just connecting with other people so that I can have a sense of, okay, I'm not just the therapist, I'm not just my job, I'm not just things I do, but I'm also someone who likes to be with people and likes people being around me and getting to know me for who I am. So having that sense of connection is going to remind me why I'm doing this, because those things also, when you connect with people and things, you start to recognize where you're at. You start to recognize what you do bring to the table, and you start to also recognize you have a lot more compassion for people when you do see them in similar situations to yourself, which allows you to have compassion for yourself as well. And I'm so grateful for my friends and families, because they all know what my vision is for this channel, what my vision is for my life, and what I would like to be given. So they're very open to me pursue my dreams, but at the same time they're also very aware if I do need to take a step back and actually be intentional with what I am doing and what's going to help me through the next stage. So they'll ask me, oh, should we go here, or should we go, maybe you should take a break, or one of my cousins a few months ago gave me a voucher just to go and look after myself, go to a spa day, just because she could see how much I was putting into everything that I was doing, and I really, really appreciated it. Sometimes you can't afford to do those things, so it might just be going for a walk in the park and just being so connected to nature and being very present in the moment, not thinking about issues outside of that moment, but just being in the moment. And I was speaking to a friend, and they had a similar situation where their week's just been going, and they said they had been in the house for days without really connecting with anything or anyone, and just been on the computer doing work. But when they stepped out, they realized they hadn't been present and they hadn't been in the moment. And when he started to do that, they felt like they had a download of where they should be going, what they should be thinking, which brought so much peace into their lives. So I think sometimes we need to just take a pause and be present in the current moment and just do what we can in that moment, which is something that I think everyone needs to do. Being present is so easily said, but sometimes when there's so many pressures and so many deadlines and things that are going on through your head, you do get a little bit distracted, and it's only nature, natural for you to feel that way. But sometimes just taking that small break, that small sailor moment, you're allowing yourself to just surrender into the process and surrender into what's going on around you. And I feel like personally, when I surrender, that's when I tend to get the most downloads and the most aha moments, and just being totally connected to what I actually want to be doing and why I'm doing what I'm doing, which inspires me more and drives me a little bit more. So I think self-compassion should come before the actual task, because it tends to fuels what you need, like, for that task. It gives you a better starting point. It's like you're not starting a race exhausted, you're starting a race from a place of peace, a place of calm, and a place of excitement to go forward. So yeah, guys, that would be my second point, like, be self-compassionate. And then my third point would probably be find your tribe. Find your tribe. I've touched on it a bit already with, like, friends and family and stuff, but I think also finding professional help if you need it. A therapist. I have a therapist. I have a supervisor. I have 2 supervisors. So I go to them and ask questions and ask for help if I need things, and being kind to myself to know that I don't know it all, and that there are people who have more knowledge than I do that could probably bridge that gap faster than I can. So maybe opening my mind to that rather than just trying to figure it out by myself. I think sometimes I get myself in a bit of a pickle because I feel like it needs to be this way or that way, which is all black and white thinking, which we have a video on that. I had a conversation with Yara about that in the previous season, so if you want to check that out, go ahead. But it doesn't need to be that. It could just be as simple as, okay, I've scheduled to go to the gym. I'm not feeling like going to the gym today, so today I'm just going to take a 20-minute walk around the block, being present with nature, being present with where I am, and then just regathering my thoughts. But I'm still giving myself that exercise that I need, but I'm also not pushing myself to do something that I don't want to do. So it's allowing yourself to live in the grey a little bit, which helps for people pleasers and perfectionists, because that's very hard to do. When you're a perfectionist, it's perfect or nothing. And in order for you to break that pattern, sometimes you have to give yourself a bit of a compromising action, rather than being stuck in this is the way it needs to be, but giving yourself that time. So for me, I am going to use the next week to continue reevaluating how I can improve my self-care within the next season. And then after that, take 2 weeks off, just not doing anything for the podcast, and just rest. Give myself the rest that I deserve so that I can go into the next season bright and refreshed and ready to go. So guys, this is the final episode for this season. Thank you so much for being so involved and being so open to just going with me on this journey. If you're watching this at the end of the video, I'm so grateful to have you here, so grateful to have followers that actually are interested in my content and continue to encourage me and help me through this season, and I'm really grateful. So thank you so much for allowing me to feel like I am doing what my purpose is, which is helping people with the knowledge that I have. So thank you so much, and I look forward to chatting to you in the next episode, guys. Thank you. See you in about 3 weeks' time. Take care, guys.